This is TWiT.
We're going gaming.
So get in, losers. We're going gaming.
and this one might be a good one for Ken. So NVIDIA has moved its native GeForce Now client for Linux out of beta and into a full stable release. So the app's been in beta, sitting in beta for months. And, first of all, you might be going, but Jeff, what is GeForce Now? For those that don't know, it's a cloud gaming service. And instead of running games on your own computer, NVIDIA runs them on powerful remote servers. The server streams the game video back to your screen, and your computer sends the button presses back to the server. So basically, it turns your maybe not very powerful machine into a display device. Basically, it is rather polarizing service because some love it, based on the hardware, the games they can play and all that, and others hate it. It kind of depends on how you feel about NVIDIA and the pricing models they have. The more money, the higher resolutions and eye candy you can have, and it's a subscription service, so that's another thing that especially now has become more of a hot topic. But that all being said, as of now, we officially have it for Linux. The big addition here is Flatpak packaging. So NVIDIA now hosts its own dedicated Flatpak repository separate from FlatHub. So instead of pulling the app from FlatHub store, you need to add NVIDIA's own repository and install it from there. Now, there's only 2 commands needed, so it isn't like a real hard process. And because it's Flatpak based rather than tied to a specific package format, that helps with wherever you want to load it. The app is sandbox, self-updating, portable across distributions that support Flatpak, which I would be surprised if there's any major ones that don't. And that way, it's not just running on the one NVIDIA officially certifies. Now, just for the record, the official certification is Ubuntu 24.04 LTS and newer. Though, like I said, if you can run a Flatpak, you should be able to run this. It just, you might be a little bit more on your own versus having official support. On the hardware side, requirements are not bad. Remember, the actual game's running on NVIDIA servers, not your local machines. So you need a dual-core x86 64-bit CPU at 2 gigahertz or faster, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and a GPU capable of H.264 or H.265 decoding with Vulkan. At least on the NVIDIA side, I believe it was the 1000 series graphics cards are capable of doing this. So if you have a 1000 series, that's enough to run this. Performance-wise, the Ultimate tier subscribers can stream up to 5K resolution at 120 frames per second, or you can push as high as 360 frames per second at 1080p for your competitive low latency games. Though, low latency, I mean, it's never going to be what it is on your local machines. So, I mean, when you say low latency, it comes with some asterisks or quotes when air quotes when you say that. To fight the lag, NVIDIA has tuned its DLSS frame generation pipeline on the server side, refining frame interpolation and response handling specifically to cut down on input lag during these, your high refresh rate sessions. But you still have your network connection in there, and you have that lag from the server to your screen. You got that round trip. You send a keystroke, goes to the server, it runs it, and then it sends it back. So that's why I'm like, low latency, asterisk, see footnote, air quotes, all that. The update also cleans up a handful of issues that were in the beta release, such as account connection failed, errors when the client tried to sync to a user's Steam or other digital storefront libraries. Non-English keyboard layouts were also causing input mapping problems during active streaming sessions, which now has been fixed. So localized keybinds pass through correctly. NVIDIA additionally cleaned up the video scaling and aspect ratio detection, which has been producing some black bars or incorrect scaling on certain display setups, including multi-monitor and high refresh rate configurations. Take a look at the article linked in the show notes, and in it, you'll see links that give you more details on the changes, how you can actually get it. And, like I said, it's not for everybody, but no matter how you like to play, happy gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a buddy that really liked the GeForce Now thing, the streaming. And I just always found it a little... something about it was a little off-putting, that idea of we're streaming games to a server and back rather than playing them locally.
And that's why I said it's very polarizing.
Yes.
Most people aren't like, well, I don't know. It's probably, if you know about it, most people are either, I love it and it's great for making my old hardware, awesome, or people despise the whole, I'm paying a subscription. I hate subscriptions. I don't feel like I own the game. All that. So, but it's an option out there, and I think the more options we have, the better.
I suppose that's true. What you got there, Ken?
Looks like a Rubik's Cube.
Looks like a psychedelic Rubik's Cube. Something about your lighting setup does not like that. I think it was subtracting all the green out of it. I think that's what's going on there.
Well, would you
we can see through it?
would you use the GeForce Now, Ken? Because I know you've got some older hardware that...
Well, that's what I was looking at. The hardware requirements, it says that you need to be running Ubuntu 24.04 LTS or later.
That's the official. If you can run a Flatpak, you're probably going to be okay. It's just...
Now, it also
certified.
mentions that when selecting a windowing system, use XOR for NVIDIA GPUs, and Wayland for AMD or Intel GPUs.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And then it says...
weird. And I was going to double check that one, but I didn't have time to double check to see if that's really the case still.
On the hardware requirements, dual core x86 or x64 CPU at 2 gigahertz or faster. My old Lenovo ThinkCenter is 2.8 gigahertz AMD Athlon 2.
There you go.
It would support it.
It might work. I bet what it really comes down to is if your GPU supports the accelerated decoding of H.264, H.265, whatever it is that they use to actually do the streaming. That's probably the most important thing.
Think an AMD ATI Radeon 3000 would support it?
I don't know, because I don't know what exactly they use to do that streaming. They may have some way to make that work.
Yeah, 264 or 265 works. But it
along
decodes
with
through Vulkan. So it's got to be able to Vulkan decode.
Or have a Mesa driver version 24.2.8 or later.
Okay. Yeah, your mileage may vary then, but what would be fun is to see like the really old potato machines that people get it running on. If somebody has a really weird or really old machine and you make it work, let us know about it. That would be fun to see.
Well, and realistically, if you're playing something, imagine something like Baldur's Gate or one of those kind of turn-based combat or something like that, where you can, I have a half a second of lag. Well, it might be a little annoying, but it's
Sid Meier's Civilization 3.
Well, I think Jeff's point is you can play the newest Civilization with those super nice graphics, and if it's lagging on decoding, it doesn't matter because you still get to see the really nice graphics.
Your latency is not really a big. It's not a fast Twitch game. You're not playing a Quake or a Doom or something like that where you've got to be fast. It's the game engine's just sitting there waiting for your input and like, what's your next move going to be?
Yep, absolutely. All right,
Mario Super Paint.
Not quite. If you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check out the Untitled Linux Show. You can find us in your favorite podcasting app or subscribe to our YouTube channel down in the links below. See you there.